So greetings to you. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday right now. Mr. Mohamed, Azruddin Mohamed, in case the country forgets, in case Guyana forgets, we have to resurrect a few things and continue to not just echo, but expound on allegations that are surfacing in case Guyana forgets. Our president did us proud, President Irfan Ali. The crisis is brewing in Guyana, but it must come to an end. It shall come to an end. It's a good sign, shield of the Americas, a good sign for Guyana. I am hopeful. So should you. We shall explore today. Welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I'm Dr. L. Prasad. I'm here to make sure that the battle continues. We got the struggle, but the battle continues. I want to bring your attention to something I know that a lot of people don't pay attention to. But I told you before that we cannot take for granted the significance of AI, which is the initial A, the initial I, put together artificial intelligence, which deals with numbers, algorithms, computing. Computing is about calculations, calculus, numbers, counting. That's AI. AI is not a language. It's about mathematics. We also know that mathematics was invented since back in the day of the Sanskrit. In other words, mathematics or numbers or computing or calculations is an invention of the Hindus, the Sanskrit, the Indians. Hence, they are the base. And we know today that AI revolves around the scholars of India. I need to keep reminding folks about that. It's not a Caucasian thing. It's an Indian thing. So from that, we pull out of the doctrine of AI, of artificial intelligence, and we come to the point where AI is about putting numbers together to create a reality. It personifies what has been programmed to. Just like the sperm and the egg create a human, the calculations of AI and the programmer, which would be the language of the Sanskrit, we get what we produce today, and a lot of people are taking advantage of that. But they fail to understand that AI is an energy, not something to mess with. It's an energy, and it represents forces that you can't see. What does that have to do with everything that's happening right now? Everything. It has everything to do with everything that's happening right now. So I want to establish the base of what you saw coming out of the Trump White House, the caption you see on your screen on the internet with President Irfan Ali and his 11 brethren, which bring the group to 12. The Messiah and his 12 disciples. not to miss my point, I wanted to break down the significance of the number 12. So I put a few things together, you know, just for my talking point. Yeah. Okay. In religion, the notable religions that you are familiar with, we talk about Christianity. We have the 12 apostles, the 12 apostles of Jesus, which symbolize divine governance and completeness. Note those two words: governance, completeness, authority in totality. We have the 12 tribes of Israel, the descendants of Jacob's son, which represents an entire nation of Israel. We come to Islam. Islam has the 12 imams, representing the spiritual and political leadership and the community after Prophet Muhammad. And you have the 12 Islamic lunar calendar, which is observation of the Ramadan and the Hajj. Hinduism, you have the 12 Jyotirlingas. I'm not good at Hindi, so if I pronounce it Jyotirlingas, but you can correct me, right? The sacred shrines, Shiva's sacred shrines in India, symbolizing spiritual power and cosmic order. 12. Also in Hinduism, you have the 12 Adityas, the solar deities representing the passage of time and cosmic regulation. We're still on the number 12. So I want to explore further other spiritual traditions in the number 12. It's the 12 signs of the zodiac. Astrology interprets personality, life cycles, and cosmic balance. Significance of the 12 in the zodiac. The 12 gates of heaven in some mystical texts, representing spiritual completeness and the journey towards divine order. In politics, that's religion and spirituality. In politics, cabinets and councils, many governments historically use 12 numbers, the number 12. Member councils, committees, which symbolize balance and representation, like 12 senators, 12 judges, 12 electors, and some judicial systems also incorporate the number 12, which, as you have seen, transcends from religion into politics. And it goes on like that. The two basic things that I want you to get from this: the number 12 represents governance and completeness. There is nothing out of it. There is no higher, there is no lower. There is a totalitarian circle using 12. It has to be, if you're dealing with governance, power, prominence, completeness, you cannot exceed 12, you cannot be below 12. It has to be exactly to the letter 12. Shield of the Americas is not like the UN, is not like CARICOM, is not like none of these organizations. What is a shield? A defense, protection, barrier, umbrella, cover. That's the shield of the Americas. Latin America, the Caribbean, the whole region is inclusive. It's included. 12 leaders were selected. Why it says Shield of the Americas? It means the Messiah is America. It is not 12, it's not 11 plus Trump 12. No, it's 12. 12 from Latin America who went in a summit with the one, America. In this case, President Donald Trump. Is he the Antichrist? I don't know. And quite frankly, I'm not interested in that. My point for bringing this up to you is there are certain protocols that must be observed and followed. These 12 leaders were vetted. Vetted meant you do background checks, you observe them, you do research, you do all of what you need to do, and you put them on a scale. And you see where the scale goes. And of all the countries in Latin America, the persons that you see there were amongst the 12 that were selected. Completeness. It means they are the ones who will execute the duties, their responsibilities. They will be a part of shaping the policies, creating the one religion for Latin America when it comes to the shield of the Americans. I want to further point out to you, protocol means order of things. When you see presidents or leaders stand a certain way, there's somebody there who's directing them where to stand. They can't stand where they feel like. Somebody's telling you stand there, you stand out there, directing them where to stand. Because it would have been discussed before. Who must stand where for the image, the photo shoot, the photo shoot. Because pictures tells 1,000 words. So what you don't want to explain to the world, you hope they get the message in the pictures that you are putting out. And in the picture that was put out from the Shield of the America Summit, President Irfan Ali, where was he standing? At the back? Third left, third right? No. He was standing immediately next to Donald Trump. In case you didn't notice that, President Irfan Ali, by the way, thank you. Thank you. Now for the rest of Guyana and those watching, in case you didn't notice, there was somebody directing them where to stand. And President Ali, next to Donald Trump, is very significant, very important. It sends a strong message to the rest of the world that President Ali is the rock on which, man, I feel like a preacher. I feel like I'm in church right now. I can feel the spirit. I want to speak in tongues. I want to elaborate. I want to blah, 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 blah. I feel like I'm possessed by something right now. What I want to say to you, I feel like something is over me. When I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this to you. President Irfan Ali, the man that fucking lunatic likes to point a finger to, the man that all of you niggas want to curse, bring down, insult, propagandize, all of that, the man that you are disrespectful to, regardless of how you put it, he stood there representing a country of close to 1 million people, of which a large portion of that country are Africans, black Africans, who to some extent have an issue with the president. But I tell you what, President Irfan Ali stood there, tall, mighty, clothed with the flag of Guyana, next to undisputedly the king of the world, Donald Trump. In context of religion, President Irfan Ali is the rock, is the Peter, is the prophet, is the man that Jesus said, upon this rock I shall build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. President Irfan Ali stood there as the Peter of Latin America, the Peter of CARICOM, the man who gained the respect of the whole globe, including Donald Trump, that Donald Trump could have said to his people, listen, I want that man to stand beside me, to my immediate side. I want him besides me. Because on him, on his policies, I shall make Latin America and the Caribbean great again. That is the mandate, the task, the responsibility that America, because Donald Trump represents America. Donald Trump represents the greatest country on the earth. Donald Trump represents the greatest military on the earth. Trump represents everything every other leader wants to be. And Donald Trump extended absolute power to President Irfan Ali, the young Indian boy from Lenora, who was exalted to the highest pinnacle and respected without dispute, without negotiations, without conditions. That is what we were delivered by when God anointed Irfan Ali to the seat of government. This is why I am proud. I am passionate to stand with him, for him, and to make sure that Guyana continues to rise. And I will fight against any weapon that is formed to make that mission impossible or to threaten it or to be a spoke in the wheel of progress to Guyana. I would use every fiber in my being because President Ali continues to deliver what no other leader has ever done. And for your attention, there were 0 black leaders amongst the 12. 0 black leaders. 1 female, and she deserved to be there. Prime Minister Kamala Harris. She deserved to be there. Respect. But I said many times, the problem with the Caribbean, the problem with Latin America, are the black governments, the black presidents and prime minister. They are the problem with CARICOM. And I wish the countries in CARICOM who have options to elect non-black leaders, you better start doing it. You better start doing it. Had it been the PNC, Guyana would never have been in such a privileged position, especially not now with the oil flowing. Guyana would have been marred with corruption. The crime would have gone through the roof if it were for the PNC. That is the greatest president we have experienced in our lifetime. And if you want something to teach the young people, Aubrey Norton, they are living in the best time in history in their lives with President Ali. There will never ever be another one. We have to hope that whoever comes next can step up to the high bar that President Ali has set so far. With that, we'll move on. Now, Mr. Norton, you had enough time before the elections to point a finger at Azharuddin Mohammed. You had enough time, you had enough opportunities. But where you falter and what you took for granted is you think somehow we're still living in the 60s and you think you are Forbes Burnham. Like Campbell is trying to invoke the spirit of Burnham the way the deceased former wife of Burnham, Viola Burnham, tried to raise him from the dead. Campbell is trying to imitate Burnham, and by virtue of that, he's hoping that the spirit of Burnham comes upon him. No, Campbell, I have news for you, and it's good news. You will meet Burnham in hell, and you can start a party there. I don't know, maybe the devil has government there too. Maybe they have different factions, that maybe they have that there. I don't know. I know I'm going to heaven. That's for sure. Matter of fact, I'm coming again. Sounds sexual, but in this sense, it meant, rebirth. Aubrey Norton, you had enough time. But coming now as a hypocrite, like all the others, and are pointing a finger at Azharuddin Mohammed, what are you hoping for? We already know he's going to be extradited, especially now, after what we have seen, that our great president went to such an important summit before the eyes of the world in the time when the world is involved in a global conflict that is escalating every day. Our president stood tall and was not judged because the world and the powers that be in America understood that Irfan Ali is a man of law and order. And that's what Trump respected for him, because if Ali was a dictator, Azharuddin would have been in federal prison since last year. But President Ali knows that justice would be served for the Guyanese people. He don't have to interfere in the judicial process. He knows Mohammed is going. But now you realize, Aubrey Norton, now you are confident enough, since you know that Mohammed will be extradited. Now you're coming up and trying to play this girly game in laying blames and pointing fingers. Let me repeat what you said. I'm quoting you. And that was yesterday. Okay? You talked to some young black guy, some young black man on a motorcycle wearing the Win t-shirt. Apparently he came there or was sent there by Azharuddin Mohammed to make the PNC look stupid. To say to the PNC, look, one of your niggas is wearing the Win shirt and he's coming to your whatever is it there, wearing a Win outfit. He's being sarcastic. You noticed that, Aubrey Norton, and you were offended. Especially since it was a black man who was throwing the taunts at you, wearing the Win t-shirt in your function. at your event. So since you are a bully, Norton, a bully, that's what bullies do. You went to the black man and you like want to know is that, hey, you're brazen, man. You're fucking short from win. And you're coming here, you know this is a PNC event. You're insulted, I can slap the black off of you. But you try to be modest, you're like, hey man, these young people are misinformed. But let me ask him, why you think you need to support Mohamed and win? And the man rightly tell you, well, the brum that the motorcycle that he is riding, if you look at the tail of the motorcycle, you will see Mohamed's logo there. In other words, idiot Norton, he's telling you that you PNC were 5 years in power. You stole, you destroyed, you stole, and you stole more. But you never bought motorcycles for them niggas that did your bidding. I heard you distribute a few bicycles. But who rides bicycles these days? You know that black people don't like to work hard. You think they'll ride bicycles? It takes a lot of energy to ride a bicycle. So Win, with his taxpayers' money, bought some cheap motorcycles and gave them niggas. You can go rob and steal with it. Of course, all the people that Ajudin invested in, he has a list of all of them with their names and their numbers. So when he wants to get disturbances and he wants to get things done, all he has to do is to go on his special app. You know, we invest in Negroes. They have a special number. And on that we invest in Negroes, he can select, because he has them by their age and their stupidity. And he's like, hey, this is a primary school dropout. Send this nigga, say, hey, go wear a Win jersey and go to the PNC event. Just park. It's going to piss them off. That's what happened. You approaching that black man who insulted you by telling you that Ajudin bought that motorcycle for him, so that's why he supported or wearing the Win t-shirt, and you're going to further tell him that if he's not aware of the Phantom Squad, who the fuck don't know about the Phantom Squad? Babies who are not born yet, their parents were born. And their parents went through that period. So genetically, that information is written. So everybody in Guyana knows about the Phantom Squad. You're the only idiot who seem to think that they don't know. So when you said to the black man in a Win t-shirt on an Ajudin motorcycle that he has chosen to support the very people who paid and sponsored the Phantom Squad to kill niggas, you are confirming, Norton, the suspicions that most Guyanese already have. You're confirming it. And hearing it coming from you, who has been in government, you had access to all the information. The police force is PNC. The soldiers is PNC, and 90% of them niggas in the jail are PNC. And the Phantom Squad, most of them murderers are PNC. Yes, they would gossip and snitch and say things like the Bacchus guy. You know the Bacchus guy, the so-called leaker, or what they call them again? The person who snitch and talk upon all the others, who was later killed. Yeah, the Bacchus guy would also have connections to all the PNC camp. We also know, Aubrey Norton, that orders used to come from Congress Place. We also know that. You see, we know because people talked about it. We have knowledge of what allegedly happened. So by that, we know. Now, you coming out as a former opposition leader who lost to another criminal with your bitterness and the fact that you know that this criminal is on his way out, you are now doing your campaigning for what? Support? So you can contest whatever appointments might be necessary when the opposition leader will have to be re-elected? You're hoping to get that seat again? This is what the Guyanese should do to you. Because the law wouldn't do it. PNC control the court, so they won't do it. Guyanese should do it. All the Guyanese, the blacks, because the phantom whose alleged leader was Roger Khan, Guyanese also know they were arms in arms with the Mohammeds. And after a while, they became rivals. You know, competitors, rivals. So it's in the grapevine, on the streets, that these two forces were controlling the Phantom Squad. Because since the PNC controlled the police force, and the police force weren't serving these businesses, and it is also alleged that the PNC had something to do with the jailbreak, 2002, the jailbreak, where subsequent to that, they unleashed terror on the Guyanese community. The same PNC turned back and pointed a finger at President Barajaglio, even accused Ronald Gadraj, Home Affairs Minister, who only ordered the police and who controlled the Phantom. It wasn't the police, wasn't the government, the opposition. Allegedly. Who financed the opposition? Wasn't the PPP, wasn't the government. Businesses. Whose businesses? Allegedly, the Mohammeds, Roger Khan, and other bitter individuals who had a problem with the PPP and wanted to make sure they influenced the upcoming election, which was 2025. 2025. So they used the Phantom Squad to terrorize Guyanese, to influence the election against President Barajaglio. Oh, you think we don't know? Yeah, we do. So now you're coming and you're pointing a finger at Azrin Mohamed and his father, being the ones who were also sponsoring the Phantom Squad to kill black people. You don't think black people know that? You're the one who are confirming it. I'm speaking after you, Norton. These are things that came out during the elections. A lot was said linking the Mohammeds to the Phantom Squad. A lot was said, but you didn't pick up on it. You didn't explore it because you didn't think that people would bother with that fool. You didn't think that he can pay who he wants, he can buy which nigger votes he wants because black people will take his money and they won't vote for him. Wrong. Black people didn't vote for Mohammed. They vote against you, Norton. They didn't vote for Mohammed. They vote against you. It doesn't matter who was there. They would have voted against you. They sent about Ashridin. Look at the people who lost in the elections. Walter Desir, Simona Brooms, all them niggas who think that they had control over niggas, they lost the election. And them niggas they think they had control over voted for who? The criminal. Afro-Guyanese voted for the PPP. more than 50,000 of them voted for the PPP. The rest of them that you thought you owned voted for the very man they were suspicious of that would have financed the Phantom Squad. That, yes, as you said yesterday, and I quote, who paid the Phantom Squad to kill your family, your relatives, referring to the black guy on the, the motorcycle. You don't think they knew that, Norton? You are creating a political firestorm when the war is over. It's done. It's not relevant anymore. Why? Because all those who had to have been paid not to testify, to incriminate the Mohammed's camp, they were either killed or they were paid off and their silence was bought. Allegedly. For you to get back to that issue, with the Phantom and all those killings and stuff, you have to do, Norton, you have to do what you do best. In light of these situations, you have to call for the special FBI to come to Guyana and resurrect the investigations about the Phantom and the killings. You have to do that. Then you might get the evidence you're looking for to bring charges, to build a case, and to state without challenge that yes, for a fact, the Mohammeds not suspected, but indeed used the Phantom Squad to deal with enemies, rivals, whatever it is. And unfortunately, it will make sense when you told the black man that his family were killed by the Phantom Squad. Then it makes sense. But to come out yesterday and say that, and the Mohammed's camp did not respond to you, it confirms what I've said before. Azruddin only picks on Indo-Guyanese. He only bully or tries to bully Indo-Guyanese. Listen to what the opposition, the former opposition leader who still can't accept the fact that he's not going to get 2 million a month anymore. Maybe the gold mine that he has in the interior, all those concessions he has, he's going to earn more than the 2 million, but I don't think he'll miss it. But I'll miss it because I need to earn 2 million a month. Norton. Now, the fact that after you made such an explosive claim, such a damning allegation, oh yes, it is, Norton, it is. You clearly stated publicly that Azruddin Mohamed was directly involved in financing and sponsoring the Phantom Squad to kill black people. That is what you said. Norton. And one, the police didn't contact you. No special committee contacted you. I'm not aware if they did. The FBI didn't. Based on that statement, that should have been all over the news. That should have been everywhere. Every news outlet should have captured that and run with it. But the fact that it's not trending, it clearly states that the Mohammed-controlled media The Mohammeds paid pundits online were ordered to stand down, were ordered to ignore it. So, Azruddin Mohammed and your father, I have a challenge for you. If you haven't heard that, you got to be real stupid. You have to be living in a bubble in Guyana that you don't know what people are saying about you. But Azruddin Mohammed and your father, what Norton said about your involvement with the Phantom Squad is not something new. It's not something new. It has been said before, not by Norton, but it has been discussed. Somehow the law enforcement ignores it. Now we understand why, because you keep claiming that you own the police, you own the justice system, and now it seems like you own the courts as well, because your case can't come to an end. But the fact that you are not challenging what Norton said, Azruddin, what do you want Guyanese to say? This is a powerful man. Aubrey Norton is a powerful man. He is the leader of a political party, the former presidential candidate for the PNC, the former opposition leader in the National Assembly. And he has said yesterday, not AI edited, that you, your business, and your father were directly involved in a Phantom Squad when it comes to killing black people. That is what he's alleging, Azruddin. And you're not bothered by that? What, black lives don't matter to you? It may be true, you don't give a shit because nobody can do anything about it. You already have all these blood on your hand. Is that what you want people to start thinking? Because none of your people came out against it. None of your so-called warriors, not Amanza Walter Desir, not Odessa Primus. You see, I'm addressing her by her name. None of these people. You could have come out and attacked an entire social group. Your father could have come out and attacked black people, call them all kinds of names. But you cannot respond to the claims Aubrey Norton has just made. And this isn't election, this isn't politics. You're dealing with a situation of extradition. You don't want new pressures on your head. You need the public to still be sympathetic to you. And the people who are so far giving a positive voice despite your crimes are black people. And a leader of the blacks in Guyana is saying that you were responsible for killing, murdering black people via the Phantom Squad, and you have nothing to say? What do you want us to think? This is the opposition leader who has blood on his hands, and now his opponent, the man who's bitter that you took his job, is coming out and lashing out against you. He's pulling the studs out. The things he haven't said before, he's saying it now. Because the best way to show how beastie you are is to beat an opponent when he's on his knees. And now that you are on your knees, Azruddin, Aubrey Norton is beating down on you. You know what? How destructive that is? To accuse you of murdering black people? I mean, come on. It doesn't affect you? Don't you want to exonerate yourself, to tell these blacks, hey, Norton, prove it? You don't want to file a lawsuit? You don't want to sue Norton? You don't want to, I mean, you have all these options. The Guyanese critic didn't make these kinds of claims against you, but you took him to court. You gagged the man. He couldn't speak. You sue him for so much millions of dollars, but you can't touch Norton. Why? Because it's what I said before. It's what I said before, Ajudin. You are afraid of black people. You have a lot of big mouth, but you are sheltering your arrogance, your gangsterism, your thuggish attitude is only possible because them fucking niggas are sheltering you. But the day you decide to think that you are so powerful that you can take on anybody and you take on any Negro in public life, that's your end. I'm telling you, you wouldn't dare, no matter what niggas tell you, no matter what Aubrey Norton or Campbell, no matter what they bring against you, you would never respond. You see why you don't touch the Negroes and the PNs in the PPP? You see why you don't touch them? Because you can't. You're a coward. You can't touch them. You can't say shit. They can do anything. And you can't touch any Afro-Guyanese in the PPP. None of them. Because look now. The man that you took his job, you destroyed his party, came out on camera. He knows he's being filmed. And he repeated it on stage to all the people who were gathered there. What he told the young man on the bike in a motorcycle. You are supporting the people who, via the Phantom Squad, killed black people. Aubrey Norton knew exactly what he was saying. That was a part of his script. He thought about that. He contemplated it. He planned it. He wanted to say exactly that. Because he wants a reaction from the Mohammeds. He wants them to challenge him. Aubrey Norton wants you, Ajudin, and your father to challenge him on the statement he made. He wants that. He wants you to say, oh, it's wrong, you're spreading fake news, this is libel, you're putting this on his character. He wants that because Aubrey Norton knows he has evidence. And if you decide to take Aubrey Norton to court for what the statement he made, Aubrey Norton knows he's going to produce the evidence. And you don't want that. So that's why more will come out. More people will start to make more accusations against you and your father. And it's going to be in that same direction when it comes to killing black people. More will come out. And I want to see you go after those blacks who will be making those claims. And I'm going to speak after them. I'm going to, even though I have a lot of information too, but I'll wait until they speak and I'm going to echo what they say. Just like Norton, I am echoing what he said. So you have to challenge him. And then he will provide the evidence that he has, which you know you don't want to come out. So what is my suggestion to you, Ajudin? You're heaping more coals of fire on your head. The politics that you are playing now, it's not politics. That's not the purpose of a political party. You are attacking the small man. You're going after petty stuff. Showing some old wooden building somewhere, showing some sand road, some drainage. I mean, come on, that's not politics. That's what your 48 million budget is for? To pay gas to go to these, that's your purpose? That's what you're fighting? You need to pick real issues. Like take on Norton. Take him on. Defend your character. You need to pick real issues. You see, when you picked on these Indo-Guyanese and the PPP, Mustafa and Susan Rodriguez and all these others, you see, they picked up your story. They challenged you. They provided evidence. They didn't just let it slide. You attack Alan Landalal, he attacked you back. They responded to you. Why are you quiet about Norton? You're going to continue to fabricate videos from here, videos from there, with a bunch of lowlife who calls you and say, oh, look, the PPP is neglecting us. Look at this shabby house that they live. Look at it, there's no food. That's your game. That's the best you could do. I reiterate, you have bigger problems. The president has just been named the Peter of Latin America. You can't challenge him. Ali has been promoted. He's not just the president of Guyana. He is now the key player in the entire Latin America. Key. He is way up, he is jetted. So forget Ali for now. Ali's gone. Supreme, he's gone. He's there. Forget that. Stick to your level. Norton, that's your level. How are you going to handle that? How are you going to handle Norton? Ajudin, he wants your job. He might very well get it. Because all them niggas in the Win Party, they're just sliming up to you because the money still comes. You see how many of them goes around with you with your stupid missions? How many of the people in your party, the black people in your party, Ajudin, goes with you when you're on your dumb mission to expose, as you claim? They don't have time with you because they see it as bottom house, fucking little girls and boys playhouse. They see it as that. They're above that level. They don't want to get involved in that. The only time they come and show their faces is when you ask, hey, you have to say something. It's like the Odessa talked about the whole homosexual prejudice thing that you come out with. Look how long it took them to react. They don't want to get involved in that shit. You saw how long it took them to react? You are alone, Ashridin. You are alone. Them niggas can't wait for you to get the fuck out. And when you are out, they're going to install Norton as opposition leader. Aubrey Norton. Because the win would come down to what? 15 seats. You think that pandit, the pandit, you think he's going to stand with Win? Look at him. He's a little piece of broom string pointer, you know. He's a fucking pointer. You think he's going to challenge them niggas? No. He would say, okay, Norton, whatever you want. You're done, Ajudi. Norton is going to keep making these statements to fuck you up. So the black people will lose their sentiments for you. They won't sympathize with you anymore because they say, what? He sponsored a phantom to kill their brothers and sisters? Yes, niggas. That's what Norton is saying. That's what Norton is alleging. And he ain't alleging that because he would have said allegedly. He's not alleging that. He's saying for a certainty that Ajudin Mohamed sponsored the Phantom in the 2000s coming up to 2006, whatever time they were disbanded, to kill black people. His father and himself were directly involved in that. And when you listen to the sentiments of Nazar Mohamed, as recent as when he made that tape telling the black people they're all dogs and they don't like to work, they only want money, money, money. And in the whole of Guyana or Georgetown, it's only 3 black people that has businesses. Yes, that same family. Norton is saying they paid to murder black people. Norton, Aubrey Norton, is saying that. Your innocence, Ajuddin, now you can prove it. And guess what? It's not a PPP fault this time. Oh, Ali didn't tell Norton to say that. Oh, no. Give Ali a break, man. President Ali can finally say, thank you. Thank you, Lord. Oh, finally, I ain't gonna get blamed for this one. President Ali can relax and calm himself and drink some water or some coconut water because he don't drink alcohol. You know, and eat some egg ball because he likes egg balls. And get some Chinese food and he can say, boys, let's sit down and relax now. Finally, we're not going to get blamed for this one because we can't tell Norton to say that stuff. Norton says what Norton wants to say. So Ajuddin Mohamed, it ain't Ali's fault. It's not the PPP this time. It's the PNC that you fucked up. They're the ones who made the allegations against you. Their leader did. Challenge it. Come out and denounce it. Call him names. Say that the PNC is after you. Attack them blacks. Call them out. You coward, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it because you are afraid. You are a fucking coward. You are afraid of black people. You are afraid of black. You are no thug. You are a thug to Indians, Indo-Guyanese. You gangster Indo-Guyanese. And you pay other black people to gangster black people. But you yourself can't dare gangster the blacks. You can't. You pay other black people to gangster black people. Those idiots do that. The stupid low-life fucks. They take your money to go kill and rob and steal other black people. Allegedly. But according to Norton, according to Aubrey Norton, it's not allegedly. It's for a fact. Challenge it. Come on, defeat yourself. Because if you go to federal prison, and them niggas, they have a lot of Guyanese in the federal prison. If you go, not if, when you go to federal prison, and them niggas in the prison there would say, oh, you are the billionaire that used to pay the Phantom to kill them niggas in Guyana? Okay, you're in the right place. You better clear it up now. Clear it up now. I'm advising you. Okay? You ain't gonna do it. Because you, let's say it together. Come on, folks. Let us say it together. Ajuddin Mohamed is afraid of black people. You can say it in the comments. If you don't want to say it loud, you can just type it. Ajuddin Mohamed is afraid of black people. Because isn't it a fact? He never attacks them, never. You're telling me that he's peddling the whole racial stereotype about Indians, and he's an Indian, but he can't say anything about black people? I thank you for your attention. Share this live. Share the broadcast. I would like to see your thumbs up, your likes, your comments. And until next time, again, congratulate President Irfan Ali in the comment section for making Guyana look great. Thank him. He needs that. He needs to hear that. The president needs to hear that. Let him know we are all proud of him and we are praying for him. Thanks for your attention. Goodbye now.